Hi everyone, this is John. I'm in Newport Beach. It's still quarantine time under coronavirus and all that. I hope you're well. The last few nights I've been seeing pictures posted, people sneaking on the beach and photographing a rare phenomenon called red tide. And when the water crashes or the waves crash, it flashes this blue light. And I remember the very first time I came to the beach at night, it was actually at Newport Beach a little over 20 years ago, and the water was flashing blue, this blue light, and I just thought it normally did that. And so every time I came after that, it never did that. So I realized I saw something rare. And in the last few days, I've seen people posting pictures of this, and I thought, I gotta come see this. And truth be told, I actually forgot about it. And a friend texted me at like 10 o'clock at night saying, oh, have you gone to check it out? And I thought, well, time to go. So here I am. It's pitch black out here. So I'm finding a challenge to even photograph anything interesting. The waves, I think I've missed the high point of this by a couple days, but it's spotty where it's flashing blue, but it's happening and it's really cool. But the problem is I'll look this way and it's going off, but my camera's pointing that way. And so I change and it's this kind of cat and mouse game. Then the other tricky thing is getting proper exposure, focus, and all that kind of stuff. It's hard to find a composition out here because there's wide open sand and no rocks. But there's one jetty, but it's high tide, so the waves are crashing over the jetty. Then there's timing it to where the waves that are hitting the jetty aren't flashing blue. It's just happening at random intervals. The problem with being out here at night is it's dark, obviously, and I'm having to use a fast lens, and the fastest lens in my kit is my 50mm 1.8. With the waves crashing, it does create more light, but I'm having to do a longer shutter speed, or slower shutter speed. So what's happening is the water smooths out in the shots. So it's like trying to decide, I can do my ISO like to 12,000, something like that, but then it's really grainy. So if I want something clean, I have to have a lower ISO. I'm doing like 400, 800, but at 5 to 10 seconds, and it's creating that smoothed out effect. So it's a real challenge. Another real challenge is focusing. You're basically focusing in the dark.
Ah!
You remember my cousin Moz?
Welcome, children.
Were you painting in the dark?
And my 50mm lens, the manual focus isn't all that great. There's no lines on it saying, infinity, focusing on infinity to the furthest distance. So what I'm doing is I focus on a star, something far away that I know is beyond its minimum distance. So infinity is, somewhere on the horizon. And so I'll just focus on that and switch it into manual focus so the camera won't ever adjust, because when it's in the dark, it'll be hunting. So I want to avoid that. And then it becomes just a time of, waiting. I'll just open the shutter, wait, and hopefully I get a shot. And with video, it's even harder because I keep my shutter speed at 50 when I'm doing video to do the 24 frames a second, and that's just too dark. But when the waves do crash, I do get that blue effect. So I'm trying to show it to you guys, but it's not like being here at all. You have to come. I don't know how this happens or when it happens. It's rare, it just happens. It's not just a game of waiting and trying to anticipate, because I'm on a 2-second timer. I didn't bring my cable release, and to be honest, I don't have a cable release for this camera. I should get one. So I'm just timing it to kind of see the wave in the dark and then wait for the crash, but also have the shutter open. I'm shooting at f1.8, actually at 2000 of a ISO. Let's see what happens at 5 seconds. What I'm going to do is try to go find a jetty over there and see if I can get a better composition with the rocks and everything, just to give some idea of place. I was just waiting. I set my shutter speed to 8 seconds actually, and my aperture it's at 2.2 just to give the rocks more focus. So now I was just waiting. ISO's at 2000. So now I was just waiting and trial and error. So here's a big one. So the hard part's anticipating. So as I'm seeing it and I push the button, I'm missing it. So I'm just learning to anticipate before it crashes in the dark. Hopefully that crash has a light. Then trying to remember, there's sort of like a rule with waves. They come in sets. So like you'll have 5 waves in a row and then nothing. So it's been kind of like that now. So I'm just a game of waiting, and also hopefully when I'm looking and in the direction I'm facing, there's light. I don't know. I watch a lot of surfers and surfing, and just it takes patience, and it's sort of like life, you know, learning to be patient through the lulls as I'm looking now and missing the action. So let's just set the timer. See how that looks. Oh yeah, that's a beauty. And then there's some waves that are deceptive, that look like they're going to be something, and it just rolls into nothing. I don't know. I watch a lot of surfers and surfing, and just it takes patience, and it's sort of like life, you know, learning to be patient through the lulls as I'm looking now and missing the action. So let's just set the timer. See how that looks. Oh yeah, that's a beauty.
Beaut clock is a beaut.
Well, I'll end on just showing you a few photos and keep this kind of short. I hope you're well through this coronavirus stuff and you're not going crazy. I know a lot of people are stressing out, and understandably. We're getting through this together. Anyway, if you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you. I'll see you next time. Bye.